All right, continuation of last time's events. I lifted the car up a little bit more. I got some material for this crossmember that's going to hold the front wishbone in place, the support arms for the front axle. So I also found some brackets. The hardware just happens to fit the size hole. I got some round tube. I got some rectangle tube. I'm going to put on the glasses cam, get underneath, make this happen. All right, so we got these brackets, got the round and rectangle tube. I also put a piece underneath the car. Lifted this up, easier access. Once again, this is what we're dealing with. And I was thinking this car's not gonna be really low, so you could probably set this, if you remember, that other thing bolted on with a plate that was below the height of the chassis. So I don't see any problem setting that in there. All right. Then some tabs coming off. But I think I want these lower. See how they're hitting the chassis there? If I could pull that off down to there, then we'll have that bit of clearance. So I'm thinking we're going to take those metal tabs that I found in the shop and we're going to make them fit this tube. We're going to need 4 of them coming off of here. All right, I brought this hole saw because I had a feeling. So I think this is what I'm getting at. We can get rid of this hole here and hole saw that right to that. Be perfect. Let's do it. Let's make a little room. See if we can't figure out how to do something here. So we're going to want this and this indexed like so. That being said, we got our tube coming in. So here's our plate. I thought I was going to use those, but I found these. And the heim joint's going to come in here. So let's just imagine, if that bolt was there, and the heim joint is bigger than the bolt. You see what I'm saying? Let's imagine, our heim joint is coming in somewhere around there, right? Maybe a little bit bigger. Let's give it a little bit of flex room. All right. So there, right? Just to say. And our tube coming through is going to be here. Just enough room to spare. We don't want it too oversized. So this is what I'm getting at. We're going to want to run the hole saw through this. And it's really only important on this side, but that will offer stability because we don't have a drill press right now. So I wonder if this is strong enough to drill on. I bet it is. If we can clamp that on, we're in business. Yeah, because we got those 2 indexing. That's good. I just put those 2 right there. That'll hold it, and that'll hold it. Just like so. Yeah, cool. Let me get the drill. Now, I have a feeling it's going to shake this table all over the place when I start to lose stuff, but we'll deal with that once we get started. Hole saw. Drill on slow. Yeah, I think something just like that. All right, so see what I'm doing for the template? Got those 2 as indexes. Now I can flip this around to this side. I can index this. Oops, I'm sorry. doing it backwards. I take this one and I index this like that. Keep them all in line. Alright, now we got these all in cohesion. We get the disc and cut them down the size, clean them up a little bit with the grinder. Gonna hop under the car real quick and make a measurement on that tube. What the heck, I'll put the glasses on. It'll be interesting because we want to measure for the placement of these as well. I mean, I am going to weld it under the car, but take a look. Cool, we got that, we got the marker, and we got our round tube. I'm gonna hop under this side because I know we located that arm on the passenger side already. When I say located it, I mean right where the frame comes together. See, there's a low spot. It just kind of falls in right there. So as we set this down, we'll have some more clearance. But that's kind of that happy area. So I'm just gonna put that inside the frame right there. And I'm looking here. So it's gonna be below the frame. So we don't have to be perfect, but you'll see what's gonna happen. Depending on where these line up, this is going to come down. So we're gonna have to move this back a little bit. And you could see it's starting to rock on that mounting point. So we're gonna weld it to that. So we might just have to slice this so that both sides come up. So let's cut this. And we're gonna measure both of these to see where they are. Because right now it's sitting in the chassis. We're gonna look at this distance on both sides. I'm gonna find the center. It's 42 and 5/8, so it's 21 and change. Let's go 21 and a quarter. Coming in from this side. Yeah, so it's about 21 and a quarter. I just made 2 marks. Cut right in the center of that. See, this is what I was saying. Just that little bit of V, and then we can weld that up. That way this hangs low and it comes up to the sides of the chassis. All right, we love the glasses cam, but I think this offers something a little bit better. All right, so this is what we were saying. We want to know from the frame rail where that heim joint is sitting. And it's at about 10 inches in from the frame rail. This one is in just a little bit. So I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to aim for 9 and 5/8 on center. Well, actually, no, 9 and 3/4. That way, that one, well, just moved. Yeah. We'll say 9 and 3/4. And coming in here. Yeah. That'll totally work. All right. So we got that. Now we're looking at this. And yeah, with that pie cut, there's actually space in between here. So that's cool too. It's going to work out perfect. I like it. So what do we do now? I guess we mark. This is a little bit wide. Let me just double check this. Yeah, it's sticking out a little bit further than I'd like. I wonder if we can go inside here. What that offers us for this. No, it doesn't really offer us enough flex. If I cut it twice more, it would. Now, it doesn't really matter that this is ramping up a little bit. I could just split this. Decisions. No. Because that's dead center. I'm looking at this. That's coming out just a little bit on each side. Yeah, no, I think, yeah. I'll be right back. I'm going to cut this just a 1/4 inch more on this side. All right. I just did a little trimming, little configuring. I put another slice through the center just so he wouldn't bind up on anything. And I also made marks. Can you see that on the heim joint right there? I made 2 marks at 9 3/4, and they are right where they need to be. So that's cool. So I'm going to put a plate on the outside of the chassis later. But what I need to figure out is equal distances now. And I don't know if you could see this hole, but there's a hole in the chassis on both sides. And I'm hoping that it's in the same place from the front. There's some supports here with rivets. So I'm going to try to figure out where on this chassis these holes are in relation to the front. Because, you know, we don't want these heim joints to be in different places, because that's what controls the alignment of the front axle. That's why they're adjustable. So we want it as close as possible. I'm going to get my square, and I'm going to do the action on these holes. See where we're at. So, forgive me if the video does not capture all of this interesting stuff, but rest assured, I'll get the glasses cam once it's all done. So I'm coming to the back of this hole with a line vertical or straight down from square on the chassis. And I'll take that here and bring that across. And this is just a point of reference. I'm trying to figure out if it's square, or rather, if these 2 holes are square with the chassis. The same thing is right here showing. Come right off the back side of that. Bring this across at that line. All right, now we get to wondering. I don't know, can you see this? Let me look at that camera. If you can, that's pretty cool. This bracket. So now it's just the big, where are we? Where are we in the universe? What's our roadmap here? Let's come off the back of this rivet. That's coming in right between 10 5/8 and 10 3/4. Bring it to this rivet. Yeah. Good news. So those holes, I mean, you can measure and measure and measure, right? I'm pretty familiar with cars. I bet those holes are in the same place, just because they're coming off of these structural pieces. How else would we check it? There's another rivet back here. Let's see if it jives on both sides. You know, it's only the car's alignment. Why be so fussy? What you didn't see is me redo the whole mount for one of the wishbones in the back of the axle. All right, 23 from that rivet. That rivet, yeah. The math checks out. All right, now, this is definitely rearward of where these heim joints are locating. But if we put this just behind it, see what I'm saying right here? I'm going to set this up just behind these 2 marks, and I'm going to measure from the heim joint to the tube. And it's about 2 7/8. On this side, yeah, it's in the same ballpark. So 2 7/8, but we don't want it that far. you know, we want this tucked up a little bit. So here's what we're gonna do. We got these 2 points of measurement, and it's good because it's rearward. So I'm gonna clean all this, both sides, and then we're gonna bolt those tabs to here. Then we're going to put this in place. We're gonna tack this because we have these measurements. And then if the alignment is off a little bit, you know, we have these heim joints set at the same distance coming out of these arms, and they're adjustable. So I mean, okay, well, 1/8 of an inch difference in the end, you can adjust it out. Nobody's going to see that. But this is what I'm getting at. Once these are locked in, we'll be able to take this cross member and shift it just a touch should we need to. When I say shift, I mean that'll change the front axle alignment. Dig it? We want this perfectly square. And we're guessing at this point that's going to keep the front axle relatively square. If the front axle isn't square, then we lengthen or shorten the distance in these heim joints to the front axle. I coming in clear? Let's get some wrenches. All right, I'll do this one first. I was going to do a bunch of grinding on these things, but I don't want to heat them up because I'm going to have to be handling them quite a bit. So, yeah. One on each side. We got a little wiggle room. Yeah, so I got those tight. Let's get this in alignment. So see, these will be posable should this be a little bit low, but we want to, we want to get them sitting nice. Let's try that other side. One on the inside, one on the outside. Like that. Yeah, so I got both of those dialed in. Looks good. We just set this up. See how far we need to clean. That's sitting there like that and like that. So yeah, we got about 4 or 5 inches ahead that we need to clean out. And then to figure out how to bring these down considerably. I do have some rubber blocks. Yeah, I could do that. I could do a rubber block off of that. I'm not sure here. I'm just guessing. Yeah, no, that just might work. There is a structure. There's a body mount right there. And unfortunately, makes this thing want to twist. But I think we might be able to pull it off. This is all I'm trying to see. All right, look at that. Click. But I want this lower, and then this body mount is cool up here, but I'm gonna put something across that that's a little bit thicker to drop that more. You know, I'll try to get a little more in depth with the glasses cam where I'm setting up, but pretty much you got this plate and this rubber block to get that distance down from this support that is up here. Yeah, now that's nice and secure. And it's probably too low now. But let's see. Look at that's perfect. It's almost spooky when that works out. Let's bring it over the other side. I don't know if you can see it, but you got this, and then you got this. And we're gonna match it side to side, just like that. Pull it down, set that in, and we're gonna let that be. It'll be 9 3/4 in. We have those marks. So now we're coming in and we're hitting that on center. That looks darn good. You can see already that this one's much lower. So that means if we move this way, we rotate. much lower. Why is that? Much lower. You look at it from this side. I'm gonna block the camera for a second, but hey, gotta give a little to get a little. It's the world we live in. So looks like this alignment is very much off. Yeah, what are we gonna do in this respect? Looks like the axle's much forward on this side, but I know what we're gonna do. We have our mark there. We're gonna work that side. We're gonna tack that, and then we're gonna shift this into place. That's what we're gonna do. I like it. But first, let me get the disc and clean all this up. I got a good reference point all around. All right, I'm gonna put this here as a support, emotional support jack stand thing. Let's hop on the other side. I'll probably use both of those. That's perfect. I was gonna tack it in place, but look, these are at the right height. Love that. You know what I'm noticing? This car is not level on the ground. That's an interesting thing. That's okay. I'm not worried about that just yet. We're gonna level everything up. We got jacks. I got jack stands. We got wheel ramps. Get it. My first rodeo. All right. Now, this to here looks good. Yeah, so that looks perfect right there. Yeah, I think I'm still gonna tack it. Maybe I should tack that first. No, that all looks good. So this looks even. It's going right across the holes for the mounting point. It's just that that rod is low. When I say rod, I mean the wishbone, the control arm. I have to redo these marks. Oh, I can see it right now. The marker isn't as bright as the chalk. And again, I'm just really double checking this because I did have to cut the back wishbone off and relocate it. I was rushing. 2.5 back. And then here, I can hear the comments already. Ian, why don't you get a lift? Why don't you get a car lift? Oh, dang. It's exactly right. It's in the same position. 2.5 off the line. Huh, I could live with that. But what I can't live with is this being a little bit low. Let's take this inboard. That's gonna raise that up. Oof. Come on, bitch. See what I'm trying to do here? Trying to create something extra special. Push this back to 2.5 out. Yeah, right there. Just a wee bit further. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is set this cross beam in place, tack this one in, and then I'm going to raise that and tack it in place. That's this whole thing that's developing right here. We're going 2.5 inches forward. Oh, now we're a little bit different. 2.25. Let's see. Yeah, see, this is no good. I'm going to take this out of the way. Well, no, let's do this. Ooh. I hate doing that, but here we are. Ooh, I think that's it. It doesn't move. Yeah. It's going to come forward just, okay, that's 2.5 right there. Don't yell. 2.5 right there. 2.25. Yeah, shift it a little bit. Just match it. 2.25. 2.25. Yeah, we're just gonna do this because we know our cross member is in place, and then we'll adjust the axle. Be square off of that. Cool. We grab the welder. Nobody breathe. Nobody move. All right, so I'm gonna tack both sides of this, then go into the center. I don't want anything to shift. Please don't shift. Let's put this on the chassis so we don't affect that. See if we got some ground. See, this is the part that gets frustrating. Step over that other side. Now, if this car was low, I definitely wouldn't be doing this. And if it was some kind of show car, I probably would have split these and brought them up into the chassis. Functional, simple, to the point, this is where we're at. All right, let's hop back in. Come in here to the center. Really lock it. Yeah, I really welded that a lot because I don't want it to mess up. When I say mess up, when you step on the brakes, you know, these are going to be wanting to deform this. So I may need to reinforce this. Not 100% sure, but that's the last thing you want to do is find out that that thing is bending because you get on the brakes and it deforms everything. And you may notice the different sound of the welder right now. It sounds a little bit flat and sloppy, not so crackly. It's because I got the heat set high and the wire speed set low. So it's really getting a hot, penetrating weld. That lack of crisp, crackling sound is because it's more melting into position than arcing, than that crack of, you know, the welder. Listen again. Hear how it's softer? It's a very hot, slow feed on the wire. Yeah, we come around that side and do the same. Actually, I can reach under here and get this. Oops. Yeah. So probably in the center I'll wrap something as an additional support. Right now this is good and strong. So I was saying I think I'm going to commit that one to that measurement and then come over here and raise this. And it's pretty cool. So we got this jack stand and that just might be the answer. No, I bet I could just hold it and tack it on though. But that front axle has to come rearward to get these points in the same place. So I'll get a strap for that. We'll let that welder cool off for a minute and then come back in here and handle this. Get some of this stuff out of the way. So I'm gonna grab this where I can because it's showing. So do you hear that? I lowered the heat a little bit. So now let's do it crackle. Now it's forcing the wire, it's short-circuiting it. That's one way to really, when they say you can tune your welder by ear, it's a good clue right there. I'm gonna take these hardwares off to final weld it, but I'll get a good grip on it right now. That's good. That. Yeah, because I can see with these Heim joints, I'm gonna want a little more clearance on these tabs so I can grind into them. I left them all big and square on the ends, if you remember. Especially on these outer ones. Just need to take it back a little bit so it'll have a little more swivel potential. But that looks cool. I'm gonna ratchet in that other side as I mentioned. And then we'll get under here for an explanation because that's kind of the wrap. Could go on, but there will be refinements, little trim details, and an end cap. Maybe I'll pull the camera to this side. Nah, I think you'll see it. Either way, we want to pull the axle rearward and lock those tabs proper. Maybe I'll get the glasses right here so we can talk about that. All right, so this is what we're dealing with here. These are the shims I was telling you, so that we could get this looking decent, you know, not hanging too far below the car. I could take that out. So that's what I was saying. There'll be an end plate here. These will get rounded off and ground out. And then there'll be another plate that just wraps around that and holds it. So see the space right there? And see how far up that is? That's what I'm going to accomplish with the strap. I'm going to put the strap to the axle. I'm going to bring that rearward, because remember, this is set. See, these are the marks I established on both sides. It's 2¼ inches forward of that. This is even, but the axle is a little forward on that side. I'm going to draw it back, pull that down, weld it in place. We're out. It always sounds like a walk in the park in the description, don't it? It gets deeper. All right, so I'm going to put this hook over the top of the axle. Oops, am I doing this right? Yes. If you want to rotate that down, that just might afford that a little bit as we pull it. All right, so I just hooked that on there. Now I'm going to put this around our mount here. Hopefully that's not so hot it's going to melt it. So now I'll move this rearward as I mentioned. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to pull this down. Oops. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. There it is. Exactamundo. Totally groovy. Right there is where we want it. I wonder if we couldn't get a little brace in there. Or am I getting spoiled with my success? That's the question. If we could, that would be pretty deluxe. No, because we decided that was too low. Too high. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do here is get this centered on there. That is, what do I have? Another piece of metal, or do I just try to muscle it? No, let's get some shims and bring that down. That way it's exact. Well, if you remember from cutting those brackets, I got those little triangles left. Let's try slipping one of them in there. Yeah. That was close. Let's try another one. This is where the whole deck of cards falls. I mean, it's close, but I want it right there. Yeah. Let me try to move this whole thing. Yeah, that's an armful to adjust that. It's a lot of pressure because I think the axle is maybe a little bit twisted. Remember when it was on the bench and it showed these at different lengths? It could be that, but this looks great. I wish I could get this just a little bit lower. What's the answer? I'm looking at this. Yeah, it's got to be one more. Let me get a heavier piece of steel. I don't have a heavier piece of steel, but I have this old sanding disc. I think that might do it better. Sanding disc for the win. It's a flat disc, so you know it's a little bit thicker. Yeah, that's exactly the right angle. All right. We're coming here with the measurer. We got 9 3/4 on center. Let's lock it in. Totally cool, right there. Perfect. You move this strap so you don't burn it up any more than necessary. Tape measure. Welder. So see I'm taking this, setting it in place right where I want it. Here's my glasses. It's go time, it's go time. All right, let me look at this once more. If we got to tap it, we can. No, those angles are good. Let's lock it. Let me get my glasses. All right. Since I can't get to the top of this right now, welding here. Take this stuff out. Oh, I locked that in pretty good. Yeah, see now that axle's in place. That's what this does, it locates. Cool. Ugh. All right, so this is what we're working with from the front. Can you dig it? These control arms, see, they still have room in there for this to move just a bit. And then coming rearward, they are completely away from the transmission pan. Coming in for another angle. Right, so they are split. They are located on this heavier tube. And this is what I was describing. A simple plate to cap that. I'm going to round off those corners. Then where that big ugly blob weld is, because I was out of position, it was dirty. I'm going to wrap that nice with some 1/8 inch plate, top to bottom. So in the end, you know what we have here is just about as low as it would have been with that original center mount. So yeah, that's another episode of Tales from Underneath the Car. Gotta find a steering box next. I think a Vega is the answer, and I think Speedway Motors might have it. Till then, on to Little Jewel next. See you there.